for the month to date, quarter to date, year to date. We want to give you an look at this FTSE 100 coming fresh out the gate. So this has been an outperformer for the quarter. Now, of course, the FTSE here in London is very heavily value focused. It's commodities linked as well. And it's been especially interesting to watch how companies with any exposure to Russia, particularly in the energy space, have handled what has been happening since around February time. So you can see there the FTSE 100 quarter to date down, and I say this, only 4 3/10%, because wait until we show you some of the other European markets. Let's take a look at Germany. The laggard for the session today, pretty much the laggard for the quarter so far, month to date as well, down 11.3%. Now, we did actually have preliminary inflation data, which of course is what is lagging over many of these markets out for provinces in Germany yesterday, or regions in Germany, and it actually sort of missed expectations, but to the downside. It's doing slightly better than expected. We're seeing a very disparate inflation picture all around Europe at the moment, and that volatility isn't providing much comfort to investors. But as mentioned with Uniper, individual stories as well, that dragging that sector today. Let's have a look at the CAC 40. We're also going to be talking French inflation later in the show. And we keep mentioning inflation because, of course, it's what is overriding this, and this idea that this over-tightening by central bankers could tip economies into recession, and that is what is affecting the confidence of the equities markets. The CAC 40 in Paris quarter to date down again, like the DAX, just around over 11%, month to date 8.5%. Tough time for the equities markets. Let's give you a look at the MIB in Italy as well while we're here, just for comparison's sake, and this really was not doing so well at all. FTSE MIB quarter to date down 14% or so. Let's now head stateside, because it's the stat you're going to be hearing a lot about. The worst first half. I shouldn't be smiling there at all, because I just love history. The worst first half since the 1970s. You're going to be hearing a lot about the 70s throughout the show, especially with our next guest as well. A lot of research being done in the markets and by bankers at the moment about where we're at with regard to inflation and equity market performance. The S&P 500 down quarter to date, month to date, 15% in the red there. Very tough time indeed for some of those blue chip stocks. And let's give you a look at the Dow as well, some of these industrials. While we're here, as mentioned, it was the only indices that closed, or index that closed in the green yesterday. Today, it was just around 0.25% up. Today, quarter to date, you're seeing it down around 10.5%. And the NASDAQ, the absolute, I think Karen mentioned in the last show, and Squawk Box, the epicenter of the losses stateside. You can see it now heavily in the red. Again, no surprises there. We all know the story about these massive growth stocks, the tech stocks really underperforming the wider market. Confidence absolutely battered, especially as you have what's happening in yields in the fixed income market. It's not helping these kinds of growthy stocks. NASDAQ quarter to date down 21.4%. And give you a little look at US tech as well while we're here, just so you can get a bit of a granular breakdown of that, because Apple quarter to date down 20.3%, and that would be, a lot of these would be classic Buffett favorites, real classic stocks, things you could put your money behind. Really seeing a lot of underperformance at the moment. In fact, if you're in a 60-40 bond portfolio, you're having a very bad time at the moment. We know this, I know this, you know this, but apparently, according to some research out by UBS, in the sort of 12 months following an event like the one that we're currently in, you will actually see a bit of return to performance for the 60-40. Meantime, Twitter quarter to date not down so bad, considering the amount of volatility we've had from the news flow in Twitter this year regarding Musk and everything else, just 2.3%. So when you see it in a comparison basket, but look at Netflix, 52.39%.